His name was Elias Cade, born in the year 2291. He had never seen true fear. He was afterburner, generation raised among the ruins of the old world, but without the nightmares that haunted their ancestors. The last zombie had fallen long before he was born, and the world had healed, or so they thought. Elias lived in Haven 3, a city built from the bones of an ancient coastal metropolis. Humanity had learned its lesson, building low and smart, powered by the wind and sun. The sky was clear the day the alarms began. They weren't loud or panicked, but controlled, and that's what made everyone stop. Elias was in the archive hall when every screen flickered. A single symbol appeared, an ancient warning icon, one that only ever pointed to a single place on Earth: the crater. In his lifetime, no alert had ever come from there. The elders gathered in Minute Scientist's guards, Archivist Sol, staring as data streamed in. Heat fluctuations, gravity distortions, electromagnetic waves that made no sense. And then came the signal. It wasn't sound, and it wasn't language. But every human who saw its waveform felt a chilling, deep-seated sense of recognition. Elias wasn't supposed to be there, but using his mother's old, expired clearance codes, he slipped into a sealed chamber beneath the archive. He accessed a file marked with a symbol few had ever seen: Origin File Meteor, Object 2133. What he read shattered everything he knew about his world. The meteor, the one that started the apocalypse, was never a rock. It was a biological vessel, part machine, part living thing. The gas it released wasn't a poison. It was an adaptive catalyst designed to test intelligent life under extreme pressure. The zombie plague wasn't a disease. It was an evolutionary accelerator. It stripped away society, ethics, and restraint, forcing raw instinct to the surface so that only the strongest traits would survive. The immune 20% weren't lucky survivors. They were compatible hosts. The report was filled with diagrams of human DNA, showing how it had been marked, altered, and refined over generations. At the end, a final, chilling classification: Status Phase 1 complete. Elias felt a cold dread creep over him. There was no data on a Phase 2. In the days that followed, every city-state received the same transmission from the crater. When decoded, it wasn't a message. It was a summons. Something was coming. From deep space, from the exact direction the meteor had arrived 150 years earlier. Astronomers confirmed it. A massive object, moving slowly, deliberately, not a meteor. It was a fleet. Panic tried to take hold, but it failed. Humanity wasn't the same. Some cities voted to hide, to go dark, and hope the fleet passed them by. Others argued that preparation was the only path. For the first time since the apocalypse, a global assembly was called. Elias watched the world's leaders argue over fractured transmissions. "We survived once by accident," one elder said. "We may not get that luxury again," another replied. Then a quiet voice spoke. It was Elias. The archive AI had authenticated his access and given him the floor. "What if this wasn't a test to destroy us?" he asked the silent assembly. "What if it was a test to see if we were worth returning to?" His question hung in the air because no one had an answer. And there was something else. Scientists had noticed that children born in the last 20 years, Iselis's generation, were different. They had faster reflexes, higher pattern recognition, and a natural resistance to fear. The adaptation was still happening, as if humanity was still being prepared for something. Then, at the crater, the ground broke open. Not violently, but gently. A massive structure rose from beneath the earth, untouched by time. Its surface began to glow, responding to the signal from the stars. Inside, systems that had been dormant for over a century flickered to life. A single line of text appeared on its main interface, written in no human language, yet understood by everyone who saw it. Subject Earth ready for contact. Elias stood at the edge of the exclusion zone, watching the structure rise. For the first time in history, humanity wasn't being hunted. It was being invited, and the universe was about to find out what the survivors of Earth had truly become. Thanks for watching, and if you're ready for what comes next, make sure to subscribe.